Welcome to yet another episode of the Economic Times Cutting Chai Stories, a series of conversations with CXOs and business leaders over chai or coffee, if that's your preference, brought to you by ET Edge. The urgency and pressure on business leaders as they navigate the COVID-19 pandemic has been immense. These business leaders have been constantly monitoring myriad ways to ensure that their respective companies stay on course in the new normal. The incredible demands placed on them makes us often wonder how they have time for family, hobbies, or any personal downtime. And let's not forget that they are mere mortals. This initiative by ET Edge is aimed to create a deeper connection with them and to get a sense of what business leaders of several prominent companies do when they are not in business mode. Today, it's my pleasure to host M. Prabhakar Rao, Associate Vice President, Information Technology at Natco Pharma Limited. Prabhakar, welcome to the Economic Times Cutting Chai Stories.
Namaste. Thank you.
You're most welcome. So Prabhakar, let's start at the very beginning. If you were to go back to the early years of your childhood, school, or later college, were there any positive influences or incidents that shaped your foundation in those formative years?
Well, yeah, you're asking me to walk down memory lane.
Yes.
Well, there are, I think, my first thing I would say that, my parents were my first teacher. Okay. And there are several things that I've been taught, and I owe whatever I am today to my parents, and of course my school, my college, and my seniors. Coming back to the going back to the school days or my childhood days, if you ask me what is one thing that has kind of influenced me or guided me, is being honest. Being honest, come what may, being honest. And my father always used to tell that, take your own decisions. Okay, don't go with the crowd necessarily. Okay, you need to have your own individuality and take your decisions accordingly. So I think that's one, that has been my compass throughout the career.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. I mean, just one statement, and I think that's very, very profound. We don't need to go into 15 things that have influenced. And I think that, like you said, has been your moral compass, and that's something that has guided you in life. Wonderful. Lovely way to start. My next question for you is that it is said that, besides money, besides the resources, besides machinery, besides technology, it is said that creative thinking is the lifeblood of any organization. How do you encourage it within your organization to keep the new ideas coming?
Yeah. So our field is, the IT field is supposed to be, kind of, it has to be continuously stored with new ideas. That's how, the things can actually, people can move into the next orbit with the new ideas coming in. Having said that, I think, we need to give people the freedom to think. We as seniors, if we start, kind of containing our people into kind of, you do what I say and kind of thing, then we are actually killing the creativity. So we need to give the freedom to young children, I mean to say the young Turks, okay? The freedom to think, the freedom to kind of come out with their own, we should encourage them to come with their own ideas. So I firmly believe that for the generation that's coming in, or the, I also have been privileged to be on that side, that, my boss would give me the freedom to think like that. And I inculcate the same thing into my team also. And the idea is that, they come with new ideas, and we give the freedom, and they have to come with the new ideas, and allow them to think beyond the limited, beyond the scope, so that, they can excel in whatever they do. So first is the freedom. And I used to read a quote earlier that which used to say, give a man the freedom, he will do the task reasonably well. sorry, give a man an assignment, he'll do the task reasonably well. Give a man the freedom, he will do the task, he'll take the task as a personal mission and excel it. So I think we need to inculcate that kind of a culture in the organization and in the team, so that people can go beyond the normal work. So that's how the creativity will come. I mean, in a democratic country like us, we have a lot of freedom to think. That's why we have so much of all the chaos also. It comes part and parcel. Yeah.
It's a part of it. What I've got from this is what you're saying is there are lots of buzzwords that are used in management and business, but what you're actually saying is that if you truly empower someone,
absolutely,
when you get freedom, it's the true meaning of the word empowerment. You'll be surprised when it comes to creativity, is what you're saying. And along with that, if there's a little chaos that comes with it, it's part and parcel of it.
That's fine.
I like that. I
sometimes
like that.
Sometimes you may get some new idea in the chaos also.
Absolutely. So again, I'm going to ask you to go down memory lane, and I'm going to ask you about your first salary that you would have received, if you remember that. And I don't think many people forget that. And if you do remember that, could you share with us, even if you want the amount, and what you did with that first salary?
I still have it as a memory.
Okay.
I still have the envelope as a memory.
Really? Okay. And how many years back was that?
I knew that you would ask me that question. It's about 35 years back.
Wow. Amazing. So we need to know the story now. We need to know the story behind that.
Nothing. So it was a kind of, I was working with Marine Limited, Merck Sharp and Dome, and that was my first salary. And I thought I should treasure it. And I kept it. As years passed by, when I see it even today in my file, I feel very happy that I could not, I did not spend it, and I kept it as a memory. So it's good that it serves my, I would say my gratuity or provident fund or whatever.
Yes. It's amazing when you say you've kept it. I was just thinking, and I know in today's world, the first salary is party time, with friends. But what you've actually said, if I were to read the subtext behind it, is the value that you put on that first salary.
Yeah.
To say, thank you very much. And that's the value that you put, the fact that you've actually kept the envelope and the money for 35 years. It's always a reminder about the roots for me. So thanks so much for sharing.
But I keep sharing it, showing it to my children, my son and daughter.
Okay. There you go.
And they get awed seeing that, it's still kept with you.
Amazing. Well done. Okay, so talking about youngsters, what advice would you give anybody who's entering into a leadership position for the first time? You being a leader yourself, having seen it all, the ups and downs, the good, the bad, the ugly, what advice would you give somebody who's entering into a leadership role for the first time?
So there's a saying that says that, the rung of the ladder is not to stay on, it is to move on. Okay, and you have to leave the previous step to go to the next step. So right. Having said that, I think for the leaders, I would say that, one thing is keep yourself updated. Okay, I mean, and in our field, we have to be updated so that, we don't get obsolescent. Second thing is, don't be possessive about whatever you're doing. Okay, I think there are some things, we need to let go so that the next in line can take the charge, or they can take and do a better job than us probably. So let's not be possessive. That's the second thing that I would like to say. Third thing is, don't get carried away with power. Okay, so first thing is keep yourself
Right.
updated. Second is don't be possessive and don't uh, relish power so much that you don't feel like leaving it. So that's it.
It's true. We forget sometimes, but there's a classic quote: "With great power comes great responsibility."
Right.
And I think that was your last point. So, well said. Well said.
One thing I would like to add on this,
Please.
and that's my kind of I keep telling everyone, the leader, any leader, I think there's a big responsibility. Going by what you said, it comes along with responsibility. Having said that, the responsibility is to create new leaders also. And if you want to create new leaders, the young people who come in, I think they come with a lot of aspirations. It's a responsibility of the leader to ensure that this responsibility is well taken care of. The young Turks who are coming in, the first job, if they are in the first job, the manager's job or the leader's job is to see that they make a career. The first job for many children or many, the young Turks who are coming in, the first job can make a career or break a career. Sometimes the first job has become so frustrating for the young boys or girls. Okay, they lose interest in that job. They probably go and change to a different profession, etc. And finally, they get lost sometimes. So the what I want to say is that the responsibility of the leader is to ensure that the young Turks who are coming in, they also make a good career under their guidance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you. You would have seen a lot of ups and downs in your life, professionally, personally. I mean, all of us go through that. And my question to you, Prabhakar, is what were those tough times that you faced in your life that left you stronger and a better person once those tough times went away? If you could give us an example or two, it would be a great learning for all our viewers.
Yeah.
Especially given how fragile our millennials are today, who on an instance, if accept, take things so much to heart that it's harmful. So can you share your journey in terms of those tough times?
Yeah. The first thing is, I always feel that experience is like a poem which you get when the hair is lost. Okay, so I don't want everyone to get that kind of experience.
Pun not intended.
Pun not intended. I recently went to Tirupati.
Okay.
But in any case, I have lost my hair also. So
that's why Monday we will do. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the first thing is, tough times don't last. Tough people last. So that's something that should keep on ringing in our ears every time. Having said that, the tough times, will teach us a lot of things. Okay, like to give an example, I was there was some particular project that was undergoing, and we all had a tough time. The complete team had a tough time, and as human nature, we would like to kind of, sometimes, we lose our cool also. So normally I don't lose my cool, but sometimes we get pushed to a wall, and then someone tests whether we are cool or not. So so those kind of situations, I think my advice is that people should stay calm. There's no point in writing the email in a hurry. Like they say, don't do any action when you are angry, and don't promise when you are happy. So on the same lines, I think we should stay calm, take our decisions at a convenient time, at a appropriate time. Okay, convenience doesn't mean about 10 days or 20 days back afterwards. So I think though basically avoid knee-jerk reactions. So we should think, then think over it, and then take an action. So definitely everyone will have several experiences, but my experiences have been that okay, if there's a situation that demands that you have to act immediately, take a cool decision and act on it. Don't act on a knee-jerk basis. Okay, I think every
Yeah.
problem has a solution. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. What you said resonated with me so much. It's advice I received from one of my bosses when I was in the corporate space. And he probably understood me as a personality. And when I asked him for some advice, when it came to life, he said, Ivan, do one thing. Don't take the most important decisions of your life, either when you're euphoric or on a high, or at your lowest, or when you're low.
right.
You will see that at both extremes, even on highs and lows, they could probably be. Wait, breathe, take your time. Nothing is running away. Get into what we call a slightly balanced state, because most of the things, 90% of the things we do when we're in a balanced state,
Right.
we tend to go wrong on the other extremes. Wonderful. It resonated with me completely. Great. I'm loving this conversation. So on that note, Prabhakar, what we'll do is we'll get into a segment called the one word, one line answer. I am going to ask you a set of questions, and I would request you to answer in one word. And if it's a line, I will mention a line. If it's 3 words, then I'll mention 3 words. So it's a fun segment. The idea is to get to know you beyond the job title. So are you ready?
Okay.
Okay. So Prabhakar, what's your favorite food?
Payasam.
Payasam. Okay. Favorite subject in school?
Maths.
Most disliked subject in school?
Oh, civics.
Okay, wonderful. Takes me back to my school days too. Civics, yeah. Which business leader do you look up to or admire the most?
Our chairman, Mr. V.C. Nanapanini.
Wonderful, wonderful. Can you name a book that has influenced or inspired you?
The Greatness Guide by Robin Sharma.
Wonderful. Choose one of the following. Save or spend?
Save.
School friends, college friends, or work friends? Choose one.
School friends.
Drums or tabla?
Tabla.
What is better, certificates or experience?
Oh. Certificates.
Okay. Indian music or Western music?
Indian music.
Museum or amusement park?
Amusement park.
Okay. Would you prefer to be invisible or have the power to read minds?
Come again?
If you had a superpower, would you prefer to be invisible or have the power to read minds?
Have the power to read minds.
Okay. Rain or sunshine?
Sunshine.
Okay. If you were to be stuck in a room for 24 hours, whom would you choose to be stuck with? And I'll give you 3 options. Kindly choose one. Michelle Obama, Lionel Messi, or Mukesh Ambani. Choose one.
Michelle Obama.
Would you rather be an Olympic gold medalist or an astronaut?
Olympic gold medalist.
With the Olympics right there in the midst right now.
Yeah.
Yes. Would you rather live in a peaceful dictatorship or a chaotic democracy?
Chaotic democracy.
Would you rather travel the world for a year on a shoestring budget or stay in only one country for a year but live in luxury?
Stay in one country.
If you were to be a kitchen appliance, what one would you be and why?
Gas.
Gas. And why?
So it will facilitate every other thing.
Absolutely. Wonderful. If you could start a charity, what would it be for?
So children education.
Nice. If you were a fruit, which fruit would that be?
Apple.
Okay. Is it to keep the doctor away or something else?
It's for keeping the doctor away,
Okay. Okay.
not looking at you.
Yeah. What is your most prized possession? I think you answered it during the course of the earlier section. Is it the same envelope?
Yes, it is. Of course, there are many other also, but I would definitely keep that as a treasured one.
Okay. All-time favorite comic book character?
Oh, Laurel and Hardy,
Nice, nice, very nice.
Oliver and Stanley.
Yeah, yeah. How long can you go without checking your phone?
Maybe about 1 hour.
Fair enough. Do you believe in planning your life or going with the flow and letting things happen?
Planning.
Okay. If you had your own talk show, say for example, it's Prabhakar's Cutting Chai or Filter Coffee Stories. If you had your own talk show, who would you invite as your first guest?
Amitabh Bachchan.
Ah, wonderful. Last question. Life is incomplete without dash. Fill in the blanks, either with a word or a line. Life is incomplete without dash.
Without challenges.
Nice, nice. Friends, that was M. Prabhakar Rao, Associate Vice President, Information Technology, Natco Pharma Limited, spending time with us on the Economic Times Cutting Chai Stories. Prabhakar, I enjoyed this conversation. There were great learnings. There were great insights that you provided, but more importantly, I just met a fantastic human being. Thank you for taking time off and joining us. We wish you, your family, and Natco Pharma the very best going forward.
Thank you, Evan.